Why I coach. So, I've been coaching for a while, just because it was kind of the thing to do as a baseball player that was, decent for the level I was at my whole career. I was always interested in like performance, the mental side, the psychological side, and the biomechanical side. These were all things that really interested me. And, as I progressed through my personal, career and journey, I did feel like I took a turn a lot more towards like the psychological aspect of things, just because it's probably what I struggle with the most, which is really why I started my own business. Started coaching guys about 2-3 years ago. It was because I was rehabbing from surgery. I had not been able to do the thing that I wanted to do the most, which is pitching. And, it was just a tough time. And it was a way for me to feel relevant again. It was a way for me to feel like I mattered, feel like I could have an impact in other people's lives. But really, I think I was just doing to help myself. Like, I created this business because I wanted to feel better. I wanted something to feel happy about. And I wanted to become a better version of myself, better than the kind of miserable one that did not really have an identity because I couldn't pitch anymore. So it was like, so what do I do here then? Kind of thing. As I started coaching, since I came from this place of like helping myself, I'm not that interested in just, helping guys tune up their mechanics and, making it all about baseball. That's kind of a pet peeve of mine, but like every time I see a coach like give out advice in 2 seconds about, all right, this is what you need to do to fix yourself. And I'm like, we have no idea really what's going on in here. And so the thing that makes the most sense for me does not matter, right? Because it has to make sense to the athlete. It has to make sense to how they are in that moment. And it has to make sense at the grand scheme of things of how they feel about everything in their lives. When they come to the facility or the baseball field, they might be, a certain way or feel like a certain way that might be completely unrelated with baseball. They might have issues in other areas of their lives, and that's really what I want to identify. And I want my athletes to kind of find their own purpose and fly with their own wings, and not make it all about baseball. Just a couple examples, like this year I had a couple of guys like come up to me and their parents called me and they're like, hey, like I really think his mechanics are not good. And I'm like, sure, like, yeah, there's some things that we can improve, but like, how does he feel? Like, does he want to do this? Does he want to work hard? If the answer to that is no, even if the kid's not honest with them, like the kids deep down know how they feel, and they'll tell me like, yeah, I don't really want to do that. And so my goal then becomes, all right, well, how do we use this outlet, right? How do we use this discipline, which is pitching or baseball, to help you find that purpose? How to make you like feel good about yourself? How do we make you strive towards a better version of yourself? How do we give you a reason to get up every morning and go after something that you really want, right? This is what it's all about. Because at the end of the day, the best way to just have an impact in these guys' lives is to, make it beyond baseball and to influence them at a deeper level, which will reflect onto other areas of their lives and help them, be better and stronger in all sorts of other things than just baseball. Obviously, I'll help them with their mechanics and I'll help them with how they throw and how it feels. But to me, that's kind of second to how the athlete feels and how I can put them in an environment where they want to work. They feel like they are doing it for something that they want, not everybody else wants. And really, once they find that, then it's easy, because then they come in, they're in a good split, they're in a good space, they're in a good mental place to work. And truly, like I said, I could care less about baseball at the end of the day. Like, I want athletes to feel like they belong, feel like they matter, you know, have them aim for something better, you know, aim for not an ideal, well, almost an ideal. You know, I want them out there not just doing it, I want them doing it for a reason that's greater. And the only way to do that sustainably is to have a purpose that's bigger than yourself, is to have your aim set towards something that's, you know, worth almost dying for, if you're going to really do it, you know, at the highest level. So this is who I am. This is what I do. I'm grateful, you know, about the opportunity that I have now to do that with more athletes in person. It's been, you know, amazing to do that and to get better at, you know, doing the thing that I want to do the most, which is help kids and help athletes, you know, find themselves and find their purpose, and through baseball, and obviously get better at it as well. But yeah, this is why I coach, and that's who I am. Write your own story.